Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're going to continue with the Flow main tools, and we're going to start retopologing this jaw. So as I mentioned earlier, once you select your high poly, you can click the little option that we have over here, and that's going to get you into the Flow interface. And we have all of these guys right here. Now, some of these guys are a little bit more specialized. For instance, the contours tool is really good for cylindrical forms, as it says right there, arms and legs. It's not really going to be as useful, but the way it works is you press Control and you draw a line across the object, and as you can see, it creates loops. And once you continue those loops, we're going to get in those cases 16 edges going around the whole thing. So again, quite handy, but not really for what we want right here. Polystrips is really cool. You again press Control. You can see that a very constant thing here with the Flow is that the Control key is like the main activator of these tools. You press Control and then you draw, and where you draw, you create this strip. Then you can press Control, or is it Shift and middle mouse, and you can just scroll and you can add or remove certain elements. This is extremely helpful because imagine inside of Maya having to draw squares all around this place right here. With the polystrips, we can just press Control, draw all the way up here, and there we go. Look at that. We got all of the basic a sketching of the elements that we might need. You also get these handles. They work kind of like splines that are that will allow you to modify these things like what I'm doing right here. And again, if you press Shift and middle mouse scroll, you can add or remove points. For instance, in this case, let's keep it at 8. Strokes is very similar. You press Control, you draw one line, and well, actually, you need to select one edge first, and then you draw another line, and it just connects both elements. Again, you can press Shift and middle mouse to add or remove more stuff. Now, why is this one really helpful? One of the reasons why this one's really helpful, if you select 3 of them, for instance, and you draw, it's going to create 3. Look at that. So again, we just create an extrusion of the element in a really fast and simple way. I really like using that tool for big patches of area. Patches, as the name implies, it's for patches of sections. Right now, we're not going to use it as much because we would need to have a hole. But patches allows you pretty much to bridge from one point to the other. So just select one, select the other one, and then you bridge. Remember that at any point, you can go here to the documentation, and you're going to get a specific things about the tools. You can go here to Active Tool, and it's going to tell you exactly how and all of the different shortcuts. If you're a shortcut guy, these are really good to get to know the tools a little bit better. You can, of course, click on these elements as I'm doing right here and move them around. You can use the tweak. Tweak is really good. It's kind of like a brush, like a sculpting brush that you can use to modify certain things right here and just properly align all of the different elements a little bit more. I'm going to go to Polypen, which is one of my favorite ones, and you can click this edge and just press Control. And once you do 2 clicks, you're going to get this. Now, if you're not a fan of these triangles right here, you can actually go to the options over here to Polypen. And on the insert mode, right now, this is to try and quad. You can change this to quad only. So now when I press Control, I'm only going to be drawing 1 square. And as you can see, it's a really fast tool because instead of having to do 4 clicks or anything, I can just start drawing from here and plan my topology accordingly. You can click on an edge, move it around if you need to while on the Polypen. And again, you just press Control, and there we go. So as you can see here, I'm creating this main section of the jaw, and it's rather simple. I don't think it requires as much thinking. Now, one of the things that I really want to encourage you guys is to combine the tools. I'm actually going to be exporting these things back to Maya once we're done, and we probably are going to do the smoothing and the conforming instead of Maya. Blender does have a nice shrink wrap thing, I think it's called. It's one of the modifiers, and it's good. It's not the greatest, I would say, and it's a little bit heavy compared to the conform tool, but it's good. So for instance, let's say we want to create a border here. This is where the strokes might be a really good option because we just select all of these edges right here, and then Control, and I just draw a line the back part of the element. And when I drop, look at that. We get pretty much all we needed. We did miss a couple right here, but we can just Control on the Polypen and bridge that right there. So as you can see, this saves quite a bit of time. Now, we do have an extra border. If you have an extra border that you don't want, we might need to double click. You can press, we're going to go to Tweak. We're going to go to Tweak. And we are going to select, actually, where is it? Loops. So I really don't want that edge loop right there. So we're going to have to eliminate that one very quickly. And to do that, you're going to press Shift and double click the edge. and then X, and we're going to dissolve the edge. There we go. So by dissolving the edge, you delete the edge and the vertices that make it up, and we're ready to go. Now here I want to teach you a really interesting thing about the topology when you get to a curved area. So you can see that we have this little bone right here. Very, very important piece of a geometry. It's very round, so that means that we probably need a little bit more geometry that we might be used to. So I'm going to go to Poly tool right there. We're going to extrude 1, and then 2, and then 3. And you can see that this guy and this guy, these two guys, they match pretty perfectly, and this guy as well, but we need a little bit more resolution. So here's where we're going to be using some tricks for our resolution. I'm going to press X and delete that face, or dissolve that face. Just delete the face. There we go. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to use, again, our poly pen. This one's going to go in a little bit like this. This one's going to go in as well. And then we can grab these two vertices and just merge them together. This one can go all the way up here. And then from here, we're going to create a new one. Okay, so as you can see, we create a little bit of an interesting like connection right here. And this point right here, this is called a star. In this case, this is a 6-point star, which again is not the end of the world, but usually you want to try to keep them on 5 because this is stretching things a little bit too much. How can we relax this? Well, of course, if we go, for instance, to the loops tool, if we add one more line here and one more line here, that's going to make the relaxation process on this point a little bit less intense. But so far, what we want to try and keep is we don't want to have any sort of angles, right? We want to keep everything quads and triangles. So we go back to Polypen here, and there we go. Loops, as you just saw, that's one of the other tools that we have here inside of our RetopoFlow, and it's really good for inserting edge loops. So we go here, all the way over here, and all the way over here. There we go. You can definitely see here, it's not really hugging the surface as nicely as I would like. This is where the loops tool is really helpful, because we just, again, press Control and click, and it's immediately going to adapt to the surface. You can see that we're not capturing this surface as nicely either, so another point right there might not be a bad idea. And then we can go finally to this relax option and just modify this guys a little bit over here. Go. Let's go to the tweak one and start pushing some of this guys on and off like that. There we go. Now on this side, we're gonna have to follow a little bit of the things that we've did before. So I'm gonna go to Polypen. I'm gonna click outside. As you can see, when I tried to draw there, it was actually following the last edge that I selected, and that's not what I want. So I'm gonna have to go here and just click anywhere outside of the mesh, and I should be able to draw my little square right there. Again, click outside, Control, click, and draw my little square outside. Control, click, and draw my little square outside. There we go. Now from this, guys, we're gonna do a similar thing. Remember, we grab the edge, we go out, we move this edge in, and then we move it out, and then we just grab two of these vertices and we get them close together. In a very similar way as to how it works inside of Maya, when two vertex or when 2 points are really close to each other, they will immediately snap. We also want to keep following our rules. Remember, we have a middle section or a middle line. So in here, I'm going to try to be very careful to keep a middle line. That middle line is probably going to go all the way down here. And then we are missing one face here. So from here, there we go. There we go. And down. Perfect, right? We can, of course, go to our loop section, add one loop right there to help with the overall shape. Even there, I think the silhouette is really intense on this area, so it might not be a bad idea to start tweaking things there a little bit. Some of you might be like, well, couldn't we work with symmetry as well? And the answer is yes, we can actually work with symmetry over here. But the problem is that we don't have symmetry right now, right? Because all of this is like really, really weirdly laid out. So to fix that, I'm actually going to have to go outside of RetopoFlow. I'm going to hit yes to confirm. And we're in edit mode for this thing. I'm going to press a slash to isolate this guy right here. I'm going to press number 1, or actually number 3, to go to a side view or a front view. I'm going to go to my edit mode. I am going to grab all of the vertices here. This guy and this guy. And I'm going to press a scale on Y0. So they are completely flat on the y-axis. And then to make sure that they're on the center line, I'm going to turn on my little thing right here. I'm going to turn on absolute grid snap. I'm going to press a G and a Y. And that's going to like make sure that they're exactly where they're supposed to be. So again, S, Y, 0, and then a G, Y. And we're just going to get them right there. So that should be the center line now. We need to mirror this, of course. So I'm going to go to my modifiers. You can see that we already have a mirror modifier by default. I'm just going to add a new one. Mirror modifier is going to be on the z-axis, or rather on the y-axis. There we go. I do want to merge. This seems to be merging things. So I'm just going to hit apply. There we go. Just one quick test that I like to do. I'm just going to give it a subdivision surface. As long as you get like a soft like transition here, that means that both elements are indeed like on the same mesh. And once we have this, we can go back with tab to edit mode and just click this little element right here to go into reto flow. Oh, there's no source detected. That's really weird. They deleted the source. There we go. There we go. We need to unhide the source so that it can see it. Okay, yeah, this is unsafe file. That's the warning that we're getting. And here, very important, we need to go to symmetry. We're going to say symmetry is Z. And no, sorry, symmetry Y. There we go. So now whatever we do here, we should get it on the other side. There was a little bit of an issue there on my mirror. Sorry about that. So it got the mirror thing. Yeah, I think that's a problem with my topology. Let's take a look very quickly. So this sometimes happens when you do the mirror, or it might be because of this mirror right here. I'm gonna change this to bisect so that we don't get this error. Because technically here, if you select one of these points and just a G, like move it around, get rid of this. It should only be a single point, which it is, okay. Let's jump back to reto flow. Let's go symmetry, Y. That's really weird. I think it's because of the modifiers. Huh. Yeah, it could be the modifiers. It's really weird. But anyway, I actually don't like working with mirror as much, to be honest, because of this sort of things, especially here inside of Blender. Sometimes you get like some weird like double transformations like that one right there. So I'm just gonna bisect, and let's see if by applying it we can recover this. Whoop. Where is it? There we go. Apply. Let me isolate again. Because you get like double transforms, yeah. Are we getting it? No, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to number 3. Sorry about all of this, like back and forth. And we're just gonna delete this. Because again, I know that at any point, I'm gonna be able to recover this, right? So we just need to delete all of these faces and continue with our retopology. So I'm going to stop the video right here, guys, and in the next one, we're going to finish up the retopology. But hopefully with this very brief like introduction to the retopoflow tools, you guys are now a little bit like you understand why I'm teaching you this. There's some very, very fast and amazing tools that will allow us to complete our challenge here of the retopology in a super, super efficient way. So hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.